welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Daisy. I am an aesthetic wellness nurse, mother of 2 and a wife, and just an overall human being, right? So today I'm talking to you about postpartum. Well, I do a little bit of glam. I haven't done glam in a while, so as a retired makeup artist, y'all be easy with me, but we're gonna talk about some things, get a little vulnerable, talk about my experience, but also give you some really good tips on how you can better yourself and how you can have a really good postpartum experience, or even just kind of, if you're going through postpartum right now, just kind of soothe just how you're feeling and let you know that you're not alone. We are all in this together, and you got this, mamas. You got this. I'm here to talk to you today about all things beauty, wellness, and balance. So on today's topic, or today's things of all things, we're talking postpartum. It gets crazy. Y'all already know that. But I'm here to just kind of share with you all some things that I feel like we don't talk about as much. Things that you need to know. And I had so many questions about, just even as a second-time mom. And just to really give some insight on what's what in this crazy ass world and reality. I went on maternity leave, but one of my clients gifted me Prada. She gifted me some Prada cosmetics, which, if you know me, you know I don't spare when it comes down to spending money on skin, hair, nails, all the whole round. But I have not had any Prada. Use the old school, y'all, makeup tutorial. I have not worn a full face of makeup that I have done myself all 2025 in probably the last 3 months of 2024. So spare me. I am going to be giving you, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to talk, go with the flow, give you what comes from my heart. And I'm going to use these products. So first I have these mini lip collections. So it's 3 different shades. It's just like a lip balm, and then there's a matte. There's 2 matte like nudes. One's pink and one's a little bit more red, so we'll see what works the best. Ooh. So what I have here, a multi-effect durable eyeshadow. So pretty. Use her. I didn't know I'm not a big eyeshadow girly, so but I love Prada, and we're gonna see what we can do with these. I've already cleaned and washed my face. Go ahead and using my e.l.f. and setting my base. So if you don't know me, I used to do makeup back in my college days. When I was in nursing school, I loved makeup. I've always loved makeup. I started doing it actually in high school, but I think started taking it serious and honestly made it a business, which is called Everything Fabulous, which watch out for her. She's maybe back. But used to be a CNA and did makeup too and started this whole brand. That's eventually, of course, how I got into aesthetic wellness as a nurse. At 29, I'll be 30 this year, 30. Honestly, didn't think I would ever have kids, but here I am 2 kids later, but I have an amazing husband. And I think that's what just really made me want to have kids, to be honest. So having a good partner is definitely number one. And I feel like it's really going to dictate how your experience and journey having kids. I promise you that's what it's going to dictate. I don't want to say under 2, but at 2. My daughter was just born. She is 5 weeks. I'm 5 weeks postpartum. And then my son is 2. He just turned 2 in December. Literally, my kids are 3 days apart. Wild, I know, but we wanted to have them close, but God, be careful what you ask for. So they are exactly 2 years apart. My daughter was born on the 4th. My son was born on the 7th. So actually, they're a little under 2. So I literally had 2 under 2 for a couple of days, maybe 3 days. It was the most trying time, but I was also in the hospital, so I didn't really know, but also didn't get to really celebrate my son's birthday like we wanted to. Like, we wanted to go to the zoo, but I had to have C-section, so we weren't able to physically go to the zoo. But we brought the zoo to him. We brought him balloons and everything of that sort. And I mean, he absolutely enjoyed it. And off first with my Estee Lauder double wear. I am very, very oily, very, very oily skin. And best product I have ever had when it comes down to oily skin. Literally stays on all freaking day, like all day. So kids are a blessing, but let me tell you, it comes with, I want to say how I feel it. It comes with trials and tribulations. So being that we live here in Houston, we do not have any help actually, any unpaid help. We have a nanny, but then who is super, super, super helpful. And then we have my son goes to daycare, which my daughter will start daycare very soon. Fight me, but she will. She'll start daycare soon because we need that help. And as a mom and entrepreneur who actually loves and wife who loves what she does, with us not having any help, I know that I'm going to need some sort of help. So they'll be going to daycare. Do I feel bad about it? No, not at all. That within itself, it makes it a lot. So I've taken these 2 months off to just really focus on my family and figure out what this new life for us looks like. Another elf. Y'all, I'm really into high-low. So y'all will see Chanel, you will see Estee Lauder, you will see Too Faced, which my concealer is Too Faced. But let me tell you, if it works, it works. And elf got it right with this one. So, ooh. So she'll be starting daycare very soon. That'll be tip number 1. I'll give it to my people postpartum. I'm like, get you some help. Yes, some people are blessed to have a village they don't necessarily have to pay for, but we pay for our village. Do I regret it? No. Is it hard? Yes. When you leave your hometown, those are things that you do not think of, right? You think of like, okay, I'm going to create this life and build this life outside of what I'm used to. But in the same token, like, you don't stop to think like, oh, with building this life is going to come with having to build a village. And as much as I love my like town in North Carolina, do I want to go back? No. And are we committed to figuring out? Me and my husband have decided like, this is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to raise our family, at least for now. And we just have to deal with what comes with it. And that is paying for our village. But the opportunities that we have here in Houston, we don't necessarily have in North Carolina. So we're honestly like, that's how we're dealing with it. Like, people try to kind of like mom guilt and kind of trip out people about like getting help. And like a lot of people, some people, I don't know, this just wasn't my experience. Some people are like, okay, I do not want to put my child in daycare. I'm not going to do daycare X, Y, and Z. And I guess if you can afford to hire a full-time nanny, but let me tell you, before you even speak on that, like, the nannies want salaries, y'all. It's not like you're going to pay your nanny, let's say $2,000 a month. No, they have full-time lives. If you want them to work 50 hours a week, because let's be honest, if you work a 9 to 5, you have 9 to 5, and then your commute to and from work, that's 50 hours a week. If you want them to work 50 hours a week, they're not working 50 hours a week for, let's just say, $2,000 a month. They're not doing it. So daycare is another option. It's sometimes a better option because your child gets community and gets to be they get to be with friends. My son has been going to daycare since he was like 9 weeks old. And let me just tell y'all, he is brilliant. And I'm not just saying that because he's my son, but like, he is super smart. Like, he can count. He can spell his name. He knows his name. Some children don't even fucking know their name. They're like, what's her name? My name is Stinkabutt. It's like, he knows his name. He knows his sister. He knows his letters. He can identify numbers and things of that sort. So he's learned so much just being there. And then he's not socially awkward. You can say what you want to say, but I know a lot of people had babies during COVID time. And some of them, I don't want to use the word weird because I think children are blessings. And I think children have, you know, their own type of personalities, but the kids are very, I want to say it how I feel it. The kids they're not used to being around people, so they have a socially awkward thing. And so I think for me, daycare does work. Yes, be selective, do your research where daycare goes, but like, it's okay. Let's talk about how postpartum has affected my skin. I actually did get the whole like pregnancy glow. I take really good care of my skin. So I feel like I was kind of blessed in that department because I was still able to do like my facials and like my skincare. Of course, when you're pregnant, you can't do things like salicylic acids, and certain like exfoliants and things like that. So I did, stop those, but I was still able to use a decent medical grade product to keep my skin clean. A lot of people are like, Deja, does it really matter spending X amount of money for products? I think it personally does when it comes down to certain products with your skin, because certain products, certain things you actually need the products to do the work. But here's another high low for me, y'all. Black Radiance. Fun fact. So when I was growing up, I didn't have like a Sephora or Ulta or even a mall in my town. So I loved Walgreens. I would go to Walgreens all times of the night and I just would look. I would scan. I would try new products and different things like that. That was like my pastime. So like some brands like Black Radiance, anything L'Oreal. Y'all, I'm obsessed with L'Oreal. L'Oreal, if you hear this, I love you. I love everything L'Oreal. If you know, you know. They have other branches. Also the Skin Better, which is majority of what my skin products are actually like a part of the L'Oreal umbrellas. So I'm obsessed. Nonetheless, I used to like have all this stuff. But I say all this to say like my skin did pretty well. Now some people, when it comes down to postpartum and also like during pregnancy, like their skin, they have a lot of issues, right? So some of the issues can be like you have a buildup of like acid within your body, and it can cause you can build up with acid within your body, and it can cause you to develop a lot of like acne, especially if you're not taking care of, if you're not healing or try to like resolve that acid in your body. That's one thing. Some people get really puffy and swell a lot, and their nose spread and different things like that. Thank God it did not happen to me. But I also like took it upon myself to work out my entire pregnancy. Like I literally worked out, I think until I was like 7 weeks. And I literally told my trainer, like, I physically cannot do it anymore. Like, I love you and I would love to stay here and keep doing this, but like, I just physically can't do it. So that within itself was like, I feel like something that really helped my skin and overall kept me not puffy, because I couldn't do Botox, which I know Botox is one of my favorite things. I couldn't do Botox during that time. So something I also did was I did a lot of ice rolling, and then just like I call it gua sha. I think it's called gua sha. The gua sha, just to help with the lymphatic drainage and things like that. And I feel like it really helped my skin. Now postpartum, I was able to get my Botox. That's a whole nother story. Some people feel like sometimes there's a stigma like, okay, you can't get Botox while you're like breastfeeding. Like, yes, you can. The particles are not big enough to actually travel through your breast milk to your baby. Now, some people for safety, they will pump and dump for at least that first 2 hours. But it's not necessarily mandatory. I kind of look at it the same way I look at alcohol. Like, I don't really drink a lot of alcohol now. Like, if you know me back in college, your girl was a partier. But like now, I don't even drink that much alcohol. And with me not drinking that much alcohol, I feel like it's really helped my face and helped me not be and look as puffy as I feel like I could have too. You don't have to pump it up that much alcohol, but like they also haven't approved certain things like ashwagandha, like for your mental health, which is like, well, actually, let's talk about it now, right? Postpartum depression, right? So thank God I am not experiencing postpartum depression, and I'm really taking a lot of steps to make sure that I don't experience that this time. Like, one, I'm taking it slow. Much as I'm ready to get back to work, I'm also not like rushing myself back into work. So I think that that's really helping me, just like taking my time, kind of slow starting. So I've like slowly started doing stuff within the salon. I slowly started getting my daughter and like her and I going and to check on things. Not while it's been 30 degrees in Houston and it's snowing in Dallas, nonetheless. But we have been like taking it slow to kind of slowly get back into a routine of me going into the office. But in the same token, I put a lot. One thing I will say about makeup, I'm not taking it off. So I'll figure out how to work it in. But just taking it slow, trying to get back into the office. I feel like meditation saved my life. Anybody that knows me knows I always talk about this. Meditation saved my life. I used to experience panic and anxiety really, really bad. So I started meditating because I wasn't didn't want to get on antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. So I started meditating and I started working out. That's when I started working out like really, really heavy, and it really helped me with my panic attacks and then also with my anxiety. So that's really helped me just with my postpartum journey. With my first child, I did experience postpartum depression. It's crazy because I didn't experience it until I went back to work. This is when I still was working my corporate job. It fast tracked everything for me to quit my job, but I didn't experience it until then because I just felt like your time is so precious. And this is like, why am I here with these people that it wasn't that they didn't like me, because I loved my community that I had built, but it just was like, it didn't feel, it's not what I wanted to be doing. I'd rather be home with my children. I'd rather be like literally like kept at home. I wanted to learn. I never wanted to cook, but I wanted to start cooking. I wanted to like make my husband's lunches. I wanted to do those things. And I just felt like being at a job, I just was not able to do it. Now I gotta figure out how to figure out all this blush. I can do it though. Just take my little brush. Yep. So for my mental health, I did end up quitting. I even went to the doctor and I got an antidepressant because I thought like, okay, I needed it. But I just decided that, I just was gonna go back to working out, go back to focusing on what made me happy. And I quit my fucking job and it made me so happy. And y'all, it literally changed my life. And it just sounds so crazy, but it's so true. Your daily routine is doing things that don't make you happy. It can drive you into a depression, but also do not be afraid to get help. If you need help, talk to someone. A lot of insurances have, and I'm going to actually use this, a lot of insurances have like crisis hotlines. So like they have something where you're feeling like, okay, I need to speak to someone just to like talk to them about just what's going on and help me like figure out a plan or help me just like bring myself back down. You can call them, and typically they're 24 hours, and it really helps. And a lot of times your insurance will give you like a couple of them free, so that helps within itself. Also sleep, y'all. Like how you handle like going, I mean, it's almost impossible to sleep. Like, don't get me wrong, like when you have a newborn, but that can really help with your mental health also, because like you need sleep. Like you need some sleep. So what my husband and I did was, I love blush. I would stay up all night and I would take care of the baby all night and do everything. He also had a month off for paternity leave this go around and the first go around. And this go around was a little different because we had two. So it was like we had to figure out how to balance everything with two. But the first time what we did, and it really, really helped us, was we decided, like, we did shifts. So like I would stay up all night with the baby, make sure he was good. And then my husband make sure he was good, and then my husband would stay up all day and let me sleep in. So then that way, we was feeling a lot better and we was able to really like rotate and both kind of be present for like what was going on. Postpartum hair loss. A little bit about this one in my recent Instagram video, but that last time really took a toll on me because I lost so much hair, and then I had a pixie cut, so it was like I almost had to wear quick weaves and even get wigs. And I'm just going to tell y'all. So I was going to this hairstylist, and I feel like part of it was postpartum hair loss. And then I think, honestly, y'all, part of it was her fault because I had a quick weave. And this was maybe, I was like 3 or 4 months postpartum. I had a quick weave and she put it on my hair. She did like the black like glue thing, and then she put it on my hair. And y'all, when she was taking it off, you could hear her just like ripping my tracks off. And then so I had 2 fucking big ass bald spots, and I'll put the pictures in here. 2 big ass bald spots where the cap ended, and she had the stuff on my hair, and it was just like, okay, I know I'm experiencing postpartum hair loss. Like it's like, it's not, I don't even know the word. Like that's not abnormal. But for all of my hair to just come off like that, so that really just scared me. But I made sure that, of course, I was taking my vitamins and different things of that sort. But it was really, really hard. And then also, nobody tells you like all the things that you don't know and the emotions that you feel as being a new parent. Like it even has like somewhat of a strain on your relationship because like your spouse is experiencing something new, you're experiencing something new, you've never seen them in this mode, you don't know how they respond to certain things, while certain honestly stress, because it's stress. Like you're locked asleep, you don't know what the hell you're doing, the baby's crying, you don't know what the baby wants to eat, the baby wants to something to needs to be changed. I mean, you could check these things, but Let's be real. You don't know all the time. And then sometimes it's none of that stuff. Sometimes it's gas. And it's just like, how do you know a baby has gas? Except for they yelling top of their top of their lungs. So like those are things that was really, really weird. Like choosing your provider is so important. For my first pregnancy, I made sure that I went with the Black provider. Say what you want to say. There are some amazing providers that are not people of color, but for my first pregnancy, I really wanted a person of color. And I made sure that I got a person of color. And her name was Tamika Cross. She's in the Pearland area, Houston, Pearland area, and she's HBCU graduate. I mean, just overall, like I knew I needed somebody who's gonna keep it real for me. I even asked her like during that time, like, okay, do I need to get a doula? And she's like, you know, she was gonna make sure she advocated for me, and she just really talked to me and told me everything that I needed. I know it's a big thing, and people talk about how like a lot of people get C-sections and they don't necessarily need them. Like my son was breech, I had no choice, but she really made me feel so comfortable throughout the process. And like I asked her, like, was there a way we could turn him? Like, was there anything we could do? But it was the most seamless C-section ever, y'all. It was so seamless. I mean, I felt comfortable. She made the opportunity great. Like I was able to choose my music in the operating room. It took about maybe an hour. I was in the operating room for an hour for the baby to come. People are in labor for 20 plus hours. I was in the operating room for an hour. It was the most beautiful thing in the world. Now, my second pregnancy, my provider that I went to the first time was out of network when it came down to having the surgery. And it just would have been way too expensive to pay again, because the first time we paid a lot of money to pay again when I could find someone that would be in network. So literally, we found someone in network. She had amazing ratings, y'all. She was not a person of color. She was a Caucasian woman, but when I say she did amazing, y'all, like she was so, come on, baby. I feel like I already knew what was going on this go around anyway, because like hence I just had a baby. It got me so informed, and just some providers allow you to have a vaginal birth after a C-section. They call it a VBAC. My provider that I switched to did not give me that option, just because it comes with a lot more complications, being that I've already had a C-section before. So she just felt like it was safer to do another C-section, which, to be honest, my first provider, because I was going to deliver my son, I was going to just opt into a C-section because it just was such an amazing experience. And my son was 8 pounds, 2 ounces. I didn't know how the hell I was going to push out an 8 pound, 2 ounce baby. So I was completely fine with. Craziest thing happens, right? We have the C-section scheduled, planned, everything, and the baby comes. My water breaks. My water didn't break with my son. I walked into the hospital, leg up, walked into the hospital. My water breaks at like 11:30 at night with my daughter, so I had to have a C-section, and it wasn't able to be my provider, and I had to use the on-call provider, which within itself just was kind of like a lot. Hey, babies. Go to say hi to the camera. Doug, say hi. Hi. Mama. Yes, baby. Oh, you touch all of my makeup. Okay. Why did my son have this behind her back? But she did not tell me that it was gonna hurt like that, and it hurt. I could, like, during my husband, he was of course beside me both procedures, and the second procedure, I'm like kind of grimacing, and he's like, "Babe, are you okay?" And I had to look at him, and I said, "I don't think so. I can feel everything that's happening." But we almost got her. Then she's like, "Brace yourself." And I could feel her like pushing down on my stomach and then pulling the baby out. I was like, "Get me out of here. Get me out of here." But they got me out of there. All in all, I'll say though, y'all, like, having a baby is not the end of the world. It's not the end of your life. It's not the end of your dreams. It's not the end of what you have going on. And there's honestly no parenting book. There's no YouTube video. There's no tutorial on what you can do to prepare. There's just not. Everyone's experience is so different. And sometimes trying to plan or trying to just figure everything out in the beginning only makes it harder, My advice that I would say though is like, if you're gonna plan financially, right? Save however long you plan on staying out of work, save at least that many months' bills so that you can, successfully stay out of work and really enjoy your baby. So plan for that. The aftermath, kind of think about, are you going to go the daycare route? Do you plan on having a nanny come in the house or whatever that may look like? Or do you plan on being a stay-at-home mom? And even with that too, like, think about, I'm not gonna say plan out every detail, but think about what you maybe want that to look like. But then too, beforehand, get rest, right? Like, take time to really rest, relax. If you have another child, spend that time with your child. If you don't, spend that time with your partner. And then you two can really connect and spend some time with yourself, getting to know yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna use, honestly, another thing I can say too is do some self-reflecting, because the person that you are before you have that child is not the person you are after you have that child. And that might sound scary, but I really think that you evolve in the best way possible, but you're just not the same person. And it's almost like that person, like my first pregnancy, I felt like I was trying to find, like, get back to Daisy pre-baby, but it's just like, that's not who I am anymore. Like, my routine has changed. I can't go to happy hour every day at 7 o'clock or go to happy hour at 7 o'clock just to meet my friends like I maybe used to. Now maybe I can go at 3 or 2 before the baby comes. Well, before the baby got to school. But like, I'm not who I used to be, so I can't do those things that I used to do. And that's okay. But fall in love with who you do become, because now, even for myself, my era is now, like, I'm in my Martha era. Like, I'm taking care of my home, I'm cooking, I'm figuring out dinner parties, I'm having, like, that's who I am, and I'm okay with that. So really fall in love with who you're becoming after that. And don't necessarily to mourn or beat yourself up about trying to be that person that you were before, because having a family is beautiful. Having children is beautiful. It's not for everyone. I think that's completely okay. But for the ones that want kids, know that it's okay. Okay, y'all, look at this color. This is the dark one. Okay, she's pretty. This is the lighter one. And then pink. Oh, my heart does not know which one. I kind of like this, but doesn't want to look like an old woman. Let's do the pink. I'm gonna do lighter pink. Okay, she's cute. She's cute. Oh my god, the baby. Okay, so here is the look. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little gloss on the lip. But if I could leave y'all with anything, I would leave you with, I'm gonna do the Fenty Heat. This is supposed to be like a, she's supposed to be like a lip plumper. I couldn't find my Too Faced one, so this is what I'm going with. But if I could leave you with anything, I just say like 3 pro tips. 1, everyone's journey is different. Don't compare yourself or your journey to anything. Oh, that's perfect. Anything you see online, anything you read in those books from the library or that your mother-in-law gives you. Don't believe everything in those. Don't believe everybody's situation and what they tell you either. Number 2, you've never been there before. If it's your first time being a mother, then it's your first time being a mother. If it's your first time being a mother of 2, oh shit. If it's your first time being a mother of 2, it's your first time being a mother of 2. Give yourself grace. You deserve that grace. This is your first time here. Give yourself that grace. Number 3, fall in love with who you're becoming. You won't be that same person as a mother of 1. You won't be that same person as a mother of 2. You're not the college person. You're not the hot girl. You can still be a hot girl, but you are not that, the person without babies. Like, your mother. And being a mother changes you mentally, physically. Give yourself time for that body too. But mentally, physically, emotionally, you change. Your body change. You change. Give yourself time to fall in love with whom that is and who you're becoming, because that within itself will make such a big difference for you. Like, You deserve it. Those are my 3 pro tips. And if you have any questions, like, chat about it. Tell me how your postpartum experience went. List some comments in the bottom. Tell me how, you're dealing with postpartum. Let's talk about it. Like, be open. It's a transparent, it's a very ugly, I don't want to say it's ugly. It's a beautifully chaotic situation, being a mother, and then especially being a mother postpartum. So let's talk about it.